The Frankie DeBusk Show is a special presentation of the Pioneer Sports Network. The Gateway Ford Frankie DeBusk Show with the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Stayton, and head coach Frankie DeBusk.
The Frankie DeBusk Show is presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda, the home of the big deal, located on the 11E bypass in Greenville. And brought to you in part by Applebee's, your neighborhood bar and grill. Applebee's, eating good in the neighborhood. Sodexo, a worldwide leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo, making every day a better day. Your Greenville Light and Power System, serving Greenville and Greene County since 1945. By Green Coach Tours, celebrating their 66th anniversary. By Consumer Credit Union, with 3 convenient locations in Greenville and Mossheim. Creekside Markets, don't pass by, stop by. Pick up a Hunt Brothers Pizza for those football Friday nights or Saturday afternoons, with 3 locations in Greene County. Laughlin Memorial Hospital, whatever you do it well. Andrew Johnson Bank, a strong heritage, a stronger future. Home owned and operated with locations in Morristown, Jonesboro, Johnson City, Cleveland, and Greenville. Grand Rental Station, anything you'll ever need to rent or buy. Special consideration from Comcast Cable.
And now, the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Stayton.
The Tusculum Pioneers and the Catawba Indians meeting for the 16th time this past Saturday. 9 of the last 11 contests have been decided by 10 points or fewer, and of those games, 5 points have been decided by 5 points or fewer. Well, you can go ahead and make that 10 of the last 12 decided by 10 points or fewer, and now the last 6 in that series have been decided by 5 points or fewer. Hello again, everyone. I'm Brian Stayton for the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda. The Pioneers fall to Catawba by a final score of 23-21 in a homecoming affair from Pioneer Field at the Niswonger Sports Complex. We welcome in Pioneer coach Frankie DeBusk, and it's just the game itself is the game, but for the first time in 24 starts in his career, Bo Cordell is not under center, out of shotgun. He's gone with a broken foot. Insert Kyle Dickey.
You know, Brian, I thought we played probably our best football game as a team for a lot of the game. I told our kids, I thought last week's practice on Tuesday was the best we had had. Go backwards. Sunday was the best we'd had. Tuesday was the best we'd had. We didn't practice very well Wednesday and Thursday, and it sort of happened in the game on Saturday. For half the game or even 3/4 of the game, we played as good as we've played yet. We didn't do the little things to win, and we put ourselves in position to win, but we didn't do the little things to win. Kyle Dickey, I thought, had a really good start for his first start, and he made some mistakes, and he wasn't real happy with his performance when it was all said and done, but I thought he performed better than maybe even people thought or expected, not for Kyle's standards, but you know, we're getting better. Our kids are making plays. We got the right attitude. It's showing that we have been working hard, and we're learning how to play. We got some freshmen really stepping up as we are now into game 4, and I always say that'll happen as the year goes along. But I'm okay with how we're playing as a team. Got to eliminate some mistakes, and if we make a few kicks Saturday, we probably win the ball game. If we make a few catches Saturday, we probably win the ball game. If we don't have a few calls go against us, we probably win the ball game. That's just how the game went. So we got to keep working at it, keep getting better, and maybe good things will happen.
Another thing for the Pioneers to consider is the year of the break, you could say. Highly touted junior college transfer Ramsey Iapala comes in, 3rd play of the year. Broken bone in his leg. Bo Cordell suffers a broken foot last week against North Greenville. Then you don't have Luke Harris either. It's got to be just, those are big voids, but it's got to be one of the strangest years for you as far as players in very key positions that are out right now.
I've sort of gone through a roller coaster of emotion, I think, in regard to that. I've been very discouraged when we've lost a player, and hadn't felt really good about that phase of it, but then get very excited about the replacement coming in to see how well they perform, and I guess that's the coach in me, but it has been a year of injuries right now, and you know, you go through these, and we've probably had them in years past, but we found a way to win, so we haven't really talked a lot about them. And right now we're not winning, and we're going to win. We're going to win some ball games. I don't know when that's going to take place. Hopefully it's coming Saturday, but it's been an unusual roller coaster ride for me as a head coach when it comes to those injuries.
Pioneers do fall to Catawba by a final score of 23-21. Catawba gets their 11th win in the series, and a series that has been very tight and very good. As you'll see, we'll come back, we'll take a look at our quarter highlights when we return right after this. The Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda Frankie DeBusk TV show continues right after this.
Dean, what's wrong? We don't want to go to the game, but I just don't think they have a car big enough for all of us.
Don't worry, Dean. My dad's inside Gateway right now buying us a new SUV that can fit all of us.
What do you think, guys?
Yeah, let's go! Hey, Ty, you ready to go to the game?
Yeah, I'm ready to go, Dad, but we have some new people wanting to go to the game.
Well, let's go.
Yeah, I think that will work.
I'm Pioneer Coach Frankie DeBusk, asking you, like I do my son Ty, to support the Tusculum College athletics all year long. And for your next car buying experience, please visit Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda.
Go Pioneers!
Applebee's 2 for $20 is back and fresher than ever. Whoa.
Hey, Chris. Hi, Jesse.
Hey.
Ready to order?
Yep, 2 for $20.
1 appetizer, 2 entrees, and layers of fresh flavor. So, who's paying this week?
Call it in the air.
Tails.
Pony up, Palmer. So come on in for new favorites like new creamy chicken fettuccine carbonara, new bruschetta chicken, or classics like the 7-ounce house sirloin. That's 1 appetizer, 2 entrees, $20. You got off easy, my friend. It's the freshest 2 for $20 yet, only at Applebee's. Now serving half-price appetizers late night.
Laughlin Memorial Hospital provides innovative, caring, compassionate service to their patients and the community through integrity and honesty in all that they do. Laughlin Memorial Hospital in Greenville since 1939. Whatever you do, do it well.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Stayton.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk TV show, presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda. The Tusculum Pioneers taking on the Catawba Indians this past Saturday. South Atlantic Conference plays the opener for the Pioneers in the South Atlantic Conference. Catawba comes in at 0-1 in the conference and also 0-3 on the year, but they'll get their first victory of the season, defeating Tusculum by a final of 23-21. Let's take a look at our first quarter highlights presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda, as the Tusculum Pioneers are without their 9,000-plus yard quarterback for his career in Bo Cordell, but you see Kyle Dickey warming up, getting his first snaps of the year.
He was very, very excited on Saturday, and I was very excited for him. You know, it's an unusual sight to see Kyle out there right now and Bo standing on the sideline on crutches, but college football is those things are going to happen, and Kyle really stepped up and accepted responsibility, and I thought played well at times.
The Tusculum Pioneers come out for their homecoming contest with Catawba. As the Pioneers will win the toss, they will defer to the second half. Catawba had the ball to start this football contest. They would move it not extremely effectively. They would get a few yards, then get pushed backwards, and then would eventually have to punt. So the first snap for Kyle Dickey in his career out of McDonough, Georgia, and he goes deep to Xavion Smith.
This is a great catch by X, as we call him, X Smith. There's Xavion Smith. What a big-time catch. You know, we decided to be, you know, Mark Kolb decided to really go after them and continue to throw the football like we do so well as an offense, and just was exciting for Kyle to get the first throw of his his college career. As a reception there, and X made a phenomenal play.
All week long, you know, Coach Colbert even said we've got to use 24, we've got to get him the ball 20 to 25 times. On the day, Foster had the ball just 7 times, but he had a rough go of it. The #1 rush defense in the country, the Catawba Indians, and they held Tusculum to -4 on the afternoon. A lot of that was sack yardage, as you'll see later in this game.
Well, they've got a solid defense without a doubt. But if we would have caught some of our balls that we threw, you know, it would open it up a little bit more for our running game. And Kyle had a really good first quarter of getting rid of the football, making throws, and shoot, this is a great catch and a great throw. I mean, look at that. Rashad's got 1 foot in. Just really good throw by Kyle, a really good catch there by Rashad Carter and one of our seniors. And told the receivers before the game, well, they don't have to be special. They just have to catch the balls that Kyle gets to them. And we didn't do that very well on Saturday. I think we had 5 drop passes, and that sure doesn't help for redshirt freshman quarterback in his first start.
Rashad Carter on that reception that you did see just moments ago was for 35 yards, was also on third down, but this is also another thing. Catawba, Lakeem Perry was named Defensive Player of the Week this week in the South Atlantic Conference, forcing a fumble, recovering the fumble, and Catawba getting the football right back. But Tusculum's defense playing very good right now, too.
Brian, I think we only gave up 230 yards or something all day long. I don't know the exact stat, but I promise you we're playing good enough defensively to win a bunch of ball games. We're just we're not winning right now, and there's great effort, people flying to the football, causing a fumble. I think that's Damian Herring, a sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia, getting in on the fumble recovery there, and happy for Damian. And our black shirt defense is really flying around making some plays.
Pioneers do only give up 230 yards total offense on the day, and the Pioneers get the ball back after back-to-back fumbles by each team and driving inside the red zone. And a little bit of an issue here just getting into the end zone on the day, but again, just very effective. You got a quarterback. You see the sideline, they think this is going to be a touchdown for Rashad Carter, but Catawba's defense very quick.
Well, I thought Rashad was going to score there, and if you look at it on film, I'm not real sure why he cut back inside. If he would have stayed outside, we had a blocker coming, but that's sort of how the day went. And we've decided to try to run the football here, and we're not as effective as we need to be from an offensive standpoint. We just got to keep working on it and doing our part, and they hold us here, and we end up sending our kicker, and Logan Cornelius, true freshman out of Chattanooga, drills his first one, gives us 3 points, and we're feeling like we're headed in the right direction.
Cornelius would get the field goal, 7 plays, 15 yards, 2:35 off the clock, taking advantage or trying to of the Catawba fumble. Catawba would get the ball back. Jacob Charest is the quarterback for Catawba. He's without his top receiver, Nate Charest, who suffered a concussion syndrome this week. Jacob is a University of Illinois transfer, set all sorts of records at Butler High School. I thought it would be a little bit better of a quarterback, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Terrence Smith, all region, and our defense was on top of him much of the day.
Put a lot of pressure on him. There's 6'6", Terrence Smith, one of our seniors from around the Atlanta, Georgia area again, making a big play. And Terrence is a phenomenal kid and a great player. Happy he can make those kind of plays. And here we are again flying around. That's John Perry, one of our sophomores from the Panhandle of Florida area there, making a nice play and causing them to punt the football. And again, from a defense standpoint, we're doing our job and get the football here to Deontay Gist. Do a great job there, B.J. Spradlin not hitting the guy in the back, and we walked a tightrope, and obviously Deontay can run as we show, and unfortunately get this touchdown call back, but great execution on our punt return team, what we call our attack team, which Coach Carl Scott coaches, and we're going to start having more and more success on that team, I do hope.
There was a penalty for a hold on this run back, so it negates a 55-yard punt return for a touchdown. You might recall Deontay Gist had a kickoff return for a touchdown last year against Catawba. So did L.J. McCray, who did not play in this game either for Catawba. He had 2 of them returned for touchdowns in a 54-44 game from a year ago. So the Pioneers have the ball, 1st and 10. Instead of a touchdown, instead of another touchdown possibly right there, have it 1st and 10 at the 25 and unable to get into the end zone.
Michael Rodriguez has got to make that catch right there, hit him right in the hands, and he's probably going to fall in the end zone if he does, or at least be on the 1-yard line, and we're not even talking about the punt return being called back. But we're not making plays for Kyle, and here Logan pulls this one a little left. He actually hit it really good, as I told him in the game, and I do think he got roughed right there, and they didn't call it, but he still should have made the kick. And we're already into the shoulda, woulda, couldas, and I hate to be that as a coach, but it's realistic. If we make the catch there on the 1, we're probably going to score. If we make the kick, maybe give us 3 more points. And you play a good defensive football team in Catawba, you've got to make those plays when their numbers are called.
Pioneers at the end of the first quarter do lead the game 3-0, but we'll take a look to see what happens the rest of the first half when we return to the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda.
Dean, what's wrong?
We all want to go to the game, but I just don't think we have a car big enough for all of us.
Don't worry, Dean. My dad's inside Gateway right now buying us a new SUV that can fit all of us.
What do you think, guys?
Yeah, let's go! Hey, Ty, you ready to go to the game?
Yeah, I'm ready to go, Dad, but we have some new people wanting to go to the game.
Well, let's go.
Yeah, I think that will work.
I'm Pioneer Coach Frankie DeBusk, asking you, like I do my son Ty, to support the Tusculum College athletics all year long. And for your next car buying experience, please visit Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda.
Go Pioneers!
Your Greenville Light and Power System, an electrical distributor of TVA, serving Greenville and Greene County since 1945. Your Greenville Light and Power is dedicated to excellence in service and reliability. Visit online at glps.net. Green Coach Charters and Tours has been proudly serving the traveling public for 65 years and is the official carrier of Tusculum College. If you have never traveled by Green Coach, may we invite you to join them for an exciting travel adventure. Visit online at greencoach.com.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Stayton.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda. The Tusculum Pioneers lead at the end of the first quarter 3-0. They enter the second quarter. Catawba on the drive, looking to add and looking to tie this game.
Again, our defensive kid, Brian, really just flying around, causing a little ruckus for Catawba, and really proud of how we played. We had more defensive players nominated for Players of the Week this week than in a long time. They ended up giving it to Muling, but here's a good play by Jelly Beckton, Catron Jelly Beckton, one of our sophomores from down in Miami, Florida. We thought we got an interception. A couple of officials said it was. One said it wasn't, and ended up losing that battle. And we end up having to reload and go again defensively, but great effort there by Jelly.
Third down and goal for the Catawba Indians. Jacob Charest, who threw for under 100 yards on the day. Didn't find a whole lot of open guys. We're going to talk about some of the third down numbers, though, coming up. That was third down and goal, obviously, back at the 22-yard line. That was no good. Thomas Trexler would come in. This is a former all-conference type kicker for Catawba. This year, just 4 of 9. His long coming into the day was just 37 yards. He would hit that one from 39 yards. It would be 14 plays, 57 yards, a minute 13 off the clock to tie the game at 3. Their mistake on the day, you would think, kicking to number 8, Deontay Gist.
You know, Deontay had a touchdown against Catawba last year on a kickoff return, and he had a punt return earlier that got called back, and here's a phenomenal kickoff return. Actually, we had blocked the kicker on this particular play. He just got up and made the tackle there to keep us from scoring, but we've got to do a little better offensively right here and hold on to the football, do some different things, and put the ball in the doggone end zone.
It was a drive in which you could tell Catawba, we realized you got a redshirt freshman quarterback back there. We're just bringing the house. They left their corners, a lot of them, on an island, but really I don't think Kyle had the time to find anybody that was open, as you see some of the speed for Catawba.
Well, we're close, and a few of those plays there, Mark Kolb and I visited, and our wide receivers have got to do a better job blocking if we're going to have any success on the outside. So we're going to put a little more emphasis on that this week. And Logan comes in and makes a kick for us there, but I think we made that kick, didn't we, Brian?
We did.
You know, we've got to do a better job of making all the kicks, so I'm not sitting here wondering which one we didn't make.
Catawba, actually Tusculum would take a 6-3 lead after a 33-yard field goal, but again, great field position. The Pioneers are just unable to put the ball into the end zone. So Catawba gets the ball, faced 3rd down and 3, went out of the Wildcat that Josh Wright converted on 1st and 10. Faced 2nd down and 9 here. Incomplete, good coverage for the Pioneers, but 3rd down and 9. Again, a 3rd down play right here, and a wide open receiver, Mario Washington, for 19 yards down to the 1.
One of the plays here we just didn't communicate very well on. Our linebacker didn't get the call, and he's a senior. It's his responsibility to get that call, and those are little things that we got to do better from a defensive standpoint. But if we hold them there, I feel like we're still playing well defensively, but I thought we had an opportunity to hold them right there and keeping this thing alive for the offense.
13 plays, 68 yards, 4:23 off the clock. Jacob Charest, the quarterback keeper, and Dickey, and I think starting to feel it just a little bit. Now you trail. I felt like if you had the lead, he could play very confidently, but now he's waiting. It's almost as if he wants it to be perfect.
He's holding the ball way too long there, and Kyle knows that. That's probably the only fault he had really on Saturday. I mean, he fumbled it a couple times, and we got to protect the football better, but he's got to get rid of the football too. He can't sit back there and hold it, and he knows that. And here we send Andy Rossetti in, who did a phenomenal job punting for us on the day. And fortunately for us, they rough him and we get the ball back. No, that's not the one, is it? Is it, Brian? I'm ahead of the game there. But Andy did a great job punting for us, and our punt team's really getting a lot better. We're starting to have a lot of taking a lot of coaching and giving a lot of great effort from that standpoint.
Catawba leading 10-6, get the football and driving. They would have a 3rd down and a yard. Charest would find Rainey here for 7 yards. Justin Arrington, one of his 10 tackles in there on the stop. They would get it inside the 10-yard line. Bobby Morrison would go for 10 yards here. Nick Smith would come up with the tackle, and then 1st and goal from the 4, and they would get their 2nd touchdown of the day as Bobby Morrison would score his 1st touchdown of the year. It would be a 9-play, 55-yard drive. 17-6, Catawba would lead. Just before halftime, though, the Pioneers get the ball and start the drive, starting from their 39.
Put a really good drive together. You know, we had some mistakes along the way, didn't protect the football from our quarterback center exchange, but here's a good throw from Kyle to Zamvion Smith, who I told Mark Kolb again, I thought X really grew up on the day, starting to mature as a receiver, see him making some plays that he hadn't made yet, and here they pulled Rashad down, and it's a penalty. It is coming back. It's right before the half, so I think we're going to get an opportunity here for an untimed down, and I guess that's coming up here in just a few minutes. But Kyle still played well. I thought his second quarter was his best quarter, throwing the ball away here, made a good decision, not making any bad ones as we're trying to put the ball in the end zone.
Pioneers had it first down and 10 from the 24. Go backwards a little bit. Sacked by Damian Lee, who was the defensive freshman of the year a year ago in the South Atlantic Conference. Facing third down and 18. Dickey again under a lot of pressure, an immense amount of pressure, and now taken definitely out of field goal range, but some good fortune here. You decide to go for it on fourth down because you are so far away with about 8 seconds left in the half.
I didn't think it would hurt us to try to throw one, and they end up putting their hand to the face mask right here on Kyle, and another interception that gets called back. And they actually have 2 or 3 penalties on this play, or there's some holding and some clipping, and I don't know, but great effort there to get him on the daggone ground. You never know what's going to happen, and our kids get him from scoring. We get an untimed down, send our kicker out there, and Logan steps up in there, and you know Logan's done a really good job for us this year. That one there's hit well, just didn't make the kick, and we're not going to make them all as I told him, but sure would have been nice to get points right there before the half.
Pioneers trail at the half to Catawba 17-6. We'll come back, look at some of your halftime festivities when we return right after this. It's the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda.
Dean, what's wrong?
We all want to go to the game, but I just don't think we have a car big enough for all of us.
Don't worry, Dean. My dad's inside Gateway right now buying us a new SUV that can fit all of us.
What do you think, guys?
Yeah, let's go! Hey, Ty, you ready to go to the game?
Yeah, I'm ready to go, Dad, but we have some new people wanting to go to the game.
Well, let's go.
Yeah, I think that will work.
I'm Pioneer Coach Frankie DeBusk, asking you, like I do my son Ty, to support the Tusculum College athletics all year long. And for your next car buying experience, please visit Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda.
Go Pioneers!
Coach, what makes a winning team?
A winning team is individuals that are working toward one common goal.
Coach, for over 30 years, Andrew Johnson Bank has been a winning team here in Greene County. It has always been our goal to provide superior service to our customers.
Andrew Johnson Bank will never quit providing extra effort to make loyal customers in the community.
Thank you, Coach DeBusk.
Thank you, Monica. Andrew Johnson Bank scores points with friendly customer service, top-notch bank products, and convenient locations. Tusculum College and Andrew Johnson Bank are a winning team.
Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo proudly serves Tusculum College and supports Pioneer football. Sodexo, making every day a better day.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Stayton.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda. The Tusculum Pioneers trail 17-6 at the half, but Coach, it is homecoming, a Hall of Fame induction ceremonies the night before on Friday night. So we've got some things that we're going to recognize. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the footage. The 1966 basketball team was recognized at pregame festivities just before kickoff.
Glad those guys are here. They obviously they care a lot about Tusculum College. They've done a lot for this institution. Proud that they could be representing one of the best basketball teams we've had here at Tusculum College, and obviously several of them there to be honored. And there's our Hall of Fame inductees that were inducted the night before, and some quality individuals right there.
Rachel Barron, right there on the left. Tom Bryant's family, the late Tom Bryant, the head football coach here at Tusculum, and then Alan Dunn, Tara Henderson, who was not in that shot, was inducted into the Hall of Fame the night before. And of course, it is homecoming, so we have to have the homecoming court. And I'm not exactly sure how many years it has been running, or maybe what the running joke could be, but that young man right there in the Tusculum football shirt is Calvin Britt, and he is the all-time leading receiver in school history here, being the homecoming king.
There you go, Calvin Britt receiving the king from Dr. Nancy Moody there, our president in the orange, and Tom Moody, your husband there. You talk about true supporters of Tusculum College now. The reason Tusculum College is heading in the direction we are heading is because of our president, Dr. Moody. And happy for Calvin. I don't know if he expected that or not, but he's a student assistant for us, was actually up in the press box and came down at halftime there to get his award.
What you're seeing here is Rashad Carter's father attempting a field goal in the Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda field goal contest, which he made the first one.
Sure did.
Which is pretty impressive, but he did not make the second one.
Well, again, hats off and thank you a lot to Gateway Ford and Kevin Grant and Lenny Lawson, just being very kind to set up the car. You get 3 kicks, you win the car, and if it wasn't for those guys, we couldn't do this. And it's causing a lot of excitement in Greenville, getting a lot of talk about it when I go out and about, so a lot of people are coming to the game, and hopefully someone will go down and buy a car from Gateway for them being so kind to us. But again, Kevin Grant is really being a supporter of our institution right now, and Lenny Lawson has been for years, so it's good to have those guys on our side.
Good news. That means the next home game, October 15th, somebody else can have a chance to win that 2011 Ford Mustang. Brand new, pristine condition, right off the lot. They drive it right there on the field. No pressure for you to kick a field goal, so we'll see you then. We'll come back with more of the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda.
Applebee's 2 for $20 is back and fresher than ever.
Whoa. Hey, Chris. Hi, Jesse.
Hey.
Ready to order?
Yep, 2 for $20.
1 appetizer, 2 entrees, and layers of fresh flavor. So, who's paying this week?
Call it in the air.
Tails.
Pony up, Palmer. So come on in for new favorites like new creamy chicken fettuccine carbonara, new bruschetta chicken, or classics like the 7-ounce house sirloin. That's 1 appetizer, 2 entrees, $20.
You got off easy, my friend.
It's the freshest 2 for $20 yet, only at Applebee's. Now serving half-price appetizers late night.
Showtime. You know what it is. Everything we do it big. Screaming, that's not. When we step up on the field, that's not. Small town, but we still do it very big. Back in ours, back in ours, back in ours, back in ours. We grind hard for the rings with the diamonds on it. Back in ours, back in ours, back in ours, back in ours.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda. All right, let's go to the second half. The Pioneers trail 17-6. They had the ball to start the second half, but weren't able to move it, so they punted away to the Catawba Indians. Catawba leading 17-6.
Yeah, unfortunately for us, I thought we'd go out there and maybe move the chains and get us in position to get some points, but we didn't there. And there's big Jason Muelling. I really believe Jason Muelling, a senior from Calhoun, Georgia, played his best football game he's played since he's been here. And he's a guy that cares a whole lot about Tusculum football. He tries to do it right. He may not be the most gifted athlete we have, but he tries so hard, takes coaching, and just really proud of his efforts. And you can see a lot of black jerseys flying around trying to make something happen. I thought we did a good job from a defense standpoint. There we're containing the big quarterback and making him punt the football.
So the Pioneers force a 3-and-out, would get the football back. Kyle Dickey would be sacked as we're picking up some of the coverage, so that would force Andy Rossetti to come in, punt the ball away, and he'd be under some heat.
That's the one I thought we were referring to earlier, but they actually ran into Andy, and we get the football back. I thought he was hurt, but he's done a great job punting for us. And hand the football off here and get 5 or 6. The kids up front blocking hard, trying to run the football. And here Kyle makes a really good decision to Deontay and gets loose, and we get a big first down. And I can feel it again that we're starting to do the little things right and having some success.
Gist would go for 14 yards. Again, he went over 3,000 yards for his career at Tusculum in all-purpose yardage, becoming only the 4th player in school history to attain that. And he has a legitimate shot of catching Ryan Talent with 3,830 all-purpose yards. Deontay Gist finishing the day over 3,100 yards of all-purpose yards. There's another guy on this team, and Marcus Foster in the backfield, who also is over 3,000 all-purpose yards. Kyle Dickey, very poised, very patient this time, finds our Offensive Player of the Week in Rashad Carter, who had another big day.
Great job there by Kyle. This time he hangs in the pocket as he should, lets it develop, and hits Rashad out there. And here's one of our drop passes. Brian Marshall's got to catch that football. It wasn't a perfectly thrown ball, but we have to catch the ones when it gets in our vicinity. And here Kyle continues to stand in there and throws and hits Michael Rodriguez across the middle. And we've got a good little scheme going right here. Kyle's catching it, getting great protection, and flipping it. And here he does it again to Deontay and moving the chains.
Deontay Gist again with the catch. This one goes for 7 yards. Michael Rodriguez, who led the conference, second in the nation in receptions per game, had 7 on the day. And then again, Xavion Smith, you mentioned it, and I really see a grow-up process with him in the contest. Then Kyle Dickey, designed run right up the middle. Corey Russell-esque, goes right up the middle for the Pioneers for his first collegiate score.
Happy for Kyle Dickey there. Our kids did a good job blocking up front, and Kyle does a good job executing, and looks like one of their Catawba players there might have hit Kyle late. Maybe should have been a penalty, but happy for him. Great execution from an offensive standpoint. If we could just put those drives together all the time, it'd be different. But we kick off to them. We're feeling it right now, and there's Thomas Burnett, a true freshman from over in Anderson, South Carolina, getting his play, and looks like I'm not sure who that is. It really gets in there and causes a fumble. It might be Justin Arrington, does a great job, but just tremendous effort by our football team causing a fumble. And there's Catron Jelly Beckton again coming up with the football, and I can feel it. Our fans were getting into it right now. Our kids were getting into it. Our team's getting into it. It's, you know, starting to feel like a Tusculum football feeling of old. And unfortunately, we don't do our part from an offensive standpoint and have to give the ball back to them.
Actually would fumble it away. Kyle Dickey would be sacked first, and then after a high snap, and then he would fumble it away. Catawba would recover it by C.J. Barksdale. Catawba would have the ball. Charest had his own problems with the center quarterback exchange, and then Charest would meet Terrence Smith for the second time in the game.
Great job by Terrence. They tried to double team him, and he fought it off. And he's one of our senior leaders from Atlanta, Georgia area, and just happy for him, and want him to have continued success here in his senior season.
5 tackles for Terrence Smith on the afternoon, again becoming one of the all-time leaders in tackles for loss from that standpoint, and again an all-region performer for the Pioneers from just a year from last year. Was one of the best seasons all time for Terrence Smith. So the Pioneers have the football and driving, Coach.
Well, we're still fighting at it. It's still a long way from over, and Kyle's trying to do his part, stand in the pocket, and there he does a good job of not taking that sack, and I think he's trying to throw the football away here, and unfortunately their linebacker makes an unbelievable interception, a one-handed grab, and I don't know if we were held a little bit there at running back or not, but it sure looked like it. And just again, we had the bad luck bug was biting us, and that was one of those right there, and it didn't go our favor.
Akeem Perry was named South Atlantic Conference Defensive Player of the Week for his game that he had against the Pioneers, an interception and fumble recovery as well. So the Pioneers trail, but they're in it, down 17-14 as we go to the fourth quarter. When we come back, we'll have a look at your fourth quarter highlights presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda.
Dean, what's wrong?
We all want to go to the game, but I just don't think we have a car big enough for all of us.
Don't worry, Dean. My dad's inside Gateway right now buying us a new SUV that can fit all of us.
What do you think, guys?
Yeah, let's go! Hey, Ty, you ready to go to the game?
Yeah, I'm ready to go, Dad, but we have some new people wanting to go to the game.
Well, let's go.
Yeah, I think that will work.
I'm Pioneer Coach Frankie DeBusk, asking you, like I do my son Ty, to support the Tusculum College athletics all year long. And for your next car buying experience, please visit Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda.
Go Pioneers! Go Pioneers!
Applebee's 2 for $20 is back and fresher than ever.
Whoa! Hey, Chris. Hi, Jesse.
Hey.
Ready to order?
Yep, 2 for $20.
1 appetizer, 2 entrees, and layers of fresh flavor. So, who's paying this week?
Call it in the air.
Tails.
Pony up, Palmer. So come on in for new favorites like new creamy chicken fettuccine carbonara, new bruschetta chicken, or classics like the 7-ounce house sirloin. That's 1 appetizer, 2 entrees, $20.
You got off easy, my friend.
It's the freshest 2 for $20 yet, only at Applebee's. Now serving half-price appetizers late night.
Anything you'll ever need to rent or buy is at Grand Rental Station. Business, commercial, or residential, from forklifts to backhoes to tents, party goods, wedding supplies, and much more. On the Andrew Johnson Highway in Greenville, Grand Rental Station, 639-6160.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show with head coach Frankie DeBusk. The special presentation of the Pioneer Sports Network. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Stayton.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show. Going to the fourth quarter, the Tusculum Pioneers trail 17-14, but Catawba has the ball and they're driving as we start the fourth quarter. Presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda.
Well, unfortunately, some of the bad plays we've made offensively and not making some catches, and we've given them a few big plays here and there, starting to mount up, and they put together a good drive, and we turn the guy loose back there, and they end up scoring and going up a little more on us.
Thomas Treckler to attempt the point after the 16-yard touchdown to Mario Washington, his first on the year. Nick Smith gets a mid on the football.
Great job by Nick Smith here. Great effort. He fights through there and blocks that kick. And we talk about doing it all the time, doing little things. And Nick's a sophomore from over at Seymour High School, via Carter High School. He wants to argue where he may be from at times, but Nick's a good young man and making some big plays, and hopefully he'll continue to grow up and be one of our leaders as his time grows here at Tusculum.
So the interception by Lakeem Perry puts 6 points on the board. Catawba leads 23-14. Marcus Foster, again, another one of those 3,000 all-purpose yard guys, comes up with a 40-yard kickoff return, nearly breaking it here, but it's been, as Coach DeBusk has already said, a season of ifs and buts already.
Yeah, we're just so close, and here we got to hang on to the snap a little bit. I don't know if it was a hard snap or Kyle just didn't catch it, but we're not performing well enough offensively to have so many negative plays. We've got to do some different things and get out of that. And here we hit Deontay, who does a good job getting upfield and giving us a chance here on 3rd down.
The Pioneers face 3rd down and 9 on the day. Didn't have the great numbers as they have had in the past on 3rd downs, and that's basically been a season trend so far for the Pioneers, converting under 40% on the day, just 4 of 15 compared to Catawba, 11 of 18. You'll see it here in the 4th quarter in their numbers. They convert on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 1, and 3rd and 8, all in this drive coming up. But Andy Rossetti, his best punt as a Pioneer, 54 yards down to the 4-yard line.
Great job there by Joe Nelson, one of our Special Teams Player of the Week, freshman from Miami, Florida, getting down there and finally doing his part from a special team standpoint. And hopefully he'll continue to get better, but Andy's done a great job punting it for us. And Skylar West does a great job snapping. A lot of times he goes unnoticed, but those guys work hard as anybody at their position. And our defensive kids right now are really battling, really fighting. They know we're in the ball game. They know we got to have a play. There's Brian Alexander giving it all he's got, and our kids are just continuing to battle and make them punt the football.
Josh Wright, who had his best game of the year, just 71 yards rushing, but 26 carries, goes for 4 yards. 3rd down and 8 becomes 4th down and 4. Give Deontay Gist another opportunity as they tried to, I think, punt it short and throw up some and mess up some of the timing. But his timing was still pretty good. A 15-yard return for the Pioneers. And here we go, down 23-14. The Pioneers start from their own 30-yard line.
Yeah, unfortunately here we get sacked, and Kyle's going to need to get rid of the football. And here we hit Rashad, who makes 2 or 3 guys miss, makes a big play, a big run. We got a couple of officials right there that supposedly do not see the penalty. We get a penalty from across the field, which I think is a very questionable call. But we got to regroup offensively and make some plays.
Pioneers, Rodriguez for the Carter, the 29-yard catch and run. The face mask would bring it all the way back to the 40-yard line. Do get the 1st down, but on 2nd down and 10, Rodriguez would go for 18 yards, facing 1st down and 10. And you're liking Michael Rodriguez, again, 1st in the league in receptions per game, 2nd in the nation.
Yeah, great job right here by Kyle hitting Michael, moving the chains, just taking the little things that they're giving us. And here we have a mix-up from center to quarterback, and again, we can't continue to have those. David Davis is playing center for us, and thought he played a little better Saturday, but we're still having some issues with that position, and we got to continue to work at it and get better.
Ruled out a fumble, but Dickey would fall on top of it. The Pioneers would keep possession, but face a 2nd down and 13. And Kyle Dickey is, again, kind of thrown into this, and they hope that, well, Mark Cole was kind of hoping that he could add a dimension, and the dimension would be this, where he would get out, scramble, and run, and he was very effective for 14 yards here.
Great job converting there when we need to and not getting excited, not holding the football, but making a decision to run with it. And Kyle's going to get better and better as we go along. And here he's working his way outside the pocket, ends up throwing this one away, which is a great decision. We got to flip that thing and try to give Rashad a chance to catch it on that play, but Kyle does a good job not taking a sack.
So the Pioneers again driving, but on the day faced with only -4 yards rushing on the day. Would be fortunate here, get a pass interference as Rashad Carter, I thought, did a great job shielding the defender and forced that pass interference with him standing on the goal line.
Yeah, they put the ball on the 2-yard line. They converse and end up putting it in the wrong spot again. Bad spot by the officials. Actually missed it. Should have been on the 4-yard line, but Marcus almost breaks free there and gets us down inside the 2. And I told Mark next time this happens, we just need a quarterback sneak it twice. And Catawba's got a good defense. They stand up strong there and do their part, and we're trying to be creative from an offensive standpoint, putting in our small bone stuff. And if Kyle breaks that tackle, he's liable to score, but that's the way the ball bounces. And here our kicker's just a little bit slow, and they end up blocking the kick. And we gotta do a better job of having good tempo from a kicking standpoint. And they end up trying to get a return, and the official there makes the wrong call again. He shouldn't have downed that ball, but that's the way the day went, not only for us, but for Catawba as well.
So the 23-yard field goal attempt would be blocked. and Catawba would turn away the threat. 12 plays, 64 yards, 6:39 off the clock in the fourth quarter with the Pioneers down 9. Really needed that one. So the Pioneers would get the stop that they needed, force a 3-and-out. Deontay Gist returned, not much, so the Pioneers facing 4th and 10. Find Michael Rodriguez for his 7th catch, 64 yards on the day receiving. Would go for 19 yards. The Pioneers keep the drive alive. They continue to throw downfield. Here's Deontay Gist for 12 yards, and then the big one to Rashad Carter.
Yeah, again, Kyle's making some really good decisions now. That was a great ball there. Had a little window to put it in, and he put it right where he needed to. And Rashad makes a big catch, and Kyle comes back and makes one of his better throws of the day, and Deontay makes a phenomenal catch and big touchdown. All of a sudden we're right in it. It's just we're just a hair bit late. If we'd have done a little better job on our field goal unit team and made that kick earlier, we might have won the ball game. And here we got to go onside kick, and I don't ever like when we have to run this particular play, but we work on it, we practice it, and Catawba's way off sides, but they don't see that, and they don't call it. Unfortunately, we get called for kicking out of bounds, and we're sitting here with a 2-point loss.
Pioneers fall by a final score of 23-21. Coach, it was a day you had all kinds of ups and downs, highs and lows. You got a young quarterback out there. All of a sudden he comes out, lights out, and in the middle of the game he kind of gets into a lull. I think they pinned their ears back, came at the young man. But, I mean, overall you've got to sit there and say, we played a pretty good game, threw for over 300 yards on the day.
Well, I thought we played good enough to win about 75% of the time. We just we got to eliminate some silly mistakes, and we got to catch a football, eliminate turnovers, make some field goals. Don't turn them loose in the secondary when we've got some communication from a linebacker standpoint. Just one play here and there has kept us from winning, and we did play. We played well, but unfortunately we didn't play well enough to win.
Pioneers fall 23-21 to Catawba in the 16th game of this series, in which Catawba has now won 11 of those games, but 10 of the last 12 have been decided by 10 points or fewer. Catawba picks up their first win. They go to 1-3, now 1-1 in the league, while the Pioneers fall to 1-3 and now are 0-1 in the conference. When we come back, we'll meet our players of the week. We'll break down the game statistically and preview Tusculum and Brevard. That's all when the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda, continues.
Dean, what's wrong?
We all want to go to the game, but I just don't think they have a car big enough for all of us.
Don't worry, Dean. My dad's inside Gateway right now buying us a new SUV that can fit all of us.
What do you think, guys?
Yeah, let's go! Hey, Ty, you ready to go to the game?
Yeah, I'm ready to go, Dad, but we have some new people wanting to go to the game.
Well, let's go.
Yeah, I think that will work.
I'm Pioneer Coach Frankie DeBusk, asking you, like I do my son Ty, to support the Tusculum College athletics all year long. And for your next car buying experience, please visit Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda.
Go Pioneers!
Consumer Credit Union. Loans? We can do that. 3 locations in Greenville and Mossheim. At Consumer Credit Union, everybody can join. Visit online at consumercreditunion.com. Your Greenville Light and Power System, an electrical distributor of TVA, serving Greenville and Greene County since 1945. Your Greenville Light and Power is dedicated to excellence in service and reliability. Visit online at glps.net.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Stayton.
Welcome back into the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda. The Pioneers fall to Catawba, but they had some top performers on the day nonetheless. We meet with one of them, our redshirt freshman quarterback, in our Applebee's player interview. Our Applebee's player interview with Kyle Dickey, redshirt freshman, getting his first start ever at Tusculum College. Kyle, I think going into this game, a lot of the coaches said, we're going to try to simplify some things, run it, and then you come out airing it on that first drive. How good did you feel? How confident did you feel in that first drive?
Well, I felt good, and I knew we were going to come out and throwing it, and just to get me settled in and to get all the butterflies out of my stomach. But we knew what we wanted to do, so we just came out with it.
All right, it's a tough game with this Catawba team. They are first in the nation in running defense. You guys tried to continue to run the football and be two-dimensional. When did the coaching staff decide we're just going to have to air this thing out?
We struggled early, just getting good plays off, getting the option going. But we had to spread them out and start spreading the defense out.
You seem real comfortable in the hurry-up. Is it because you don't have to sit there and think about things a whole lot?
Well, it gets the defense off guard, and that's when we're at our best. Quick to the line.
All right, you come in here, you know you're going to get the start. You're filling in for a guy who set all sorts of records here at school. What's your thought process coming into this football game?
You know, Bo's a great player. You know, I'm just doing my best to get my guys, you know, the ball. You know, we still have great athletes on the field. You know, it's my job to get them the ball.
Coach DeBusk has just talked about 300-yard performance today, passing touchdown to Deontay Gist, a running touchdown as well. Talked about Kyle Dickey. I think is good enough to let us win the rest of our games this season. What does that say for you, the confidence that your head coach is showing on you right now?
Well, they've been supporting me all week. You know, all the coaches, you know, all the players that they've given me the confidence. And, you know, we still believe we can win.
Kyle, best of luck to you the rest of the way. Thanks for joining us. That's Kyle Dickey for our Applebee's Frankie DeBusk TV player interview. It's time now to meet our players of the week. We'll start on offense with our Sodexo Offensive Player of the Week. It's Rashad Carter, the senior out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. 5 receptions for 122 yards on the day. It is his 9th career 100 receiving yard game, which ties him for first all-time with Deontay Gist, now just 52 yards from moving into 3rd all-time in receiving yards in a career at Tusculum. The Greenville Light and Power Defensive Player of the Week is Jason Muelling, the senior out of Calhoun, Georgia, finishing with 4 tackles and a tackle for loss, 94 tackles and 11 for loss for his career at Tusculum. Our Green Coach Tour Special Teams Player of the Week. The first is Joe Nelson, the freshman out of Miramar, Florida, out of Miami Central High School. Nicholas Smith, the sophomore from Seymour, Tennessee, Seymour High School, finishing on the day with 3 tackles and a block extra point, now with 12 tackles on the year for Nicholas Smith. Deontay Gist, the senior from Welford, South Carolina, Burns High School, 80 kickoff return yards, 55 punt return yards, and 60 receiving yards on the day, 195 all-purpose yards, becoming the 4th player all-time with over 3,000 all-purpose yards. Ryan Talent leads that category, 3,830. Realistically now, with over 3,100 yards for Deontay Gist, he can get that goal. And Andy Rossetti, the sophomore out of Kansas City, Florida, his best day by average as a punter for the Pioneers. 3 punts, a 46.7-yard average, along a career long of 54 with 1 inside the 20. It's time now for our Andrew Johnson Bank Call of the Game. The 71-yard kickoff return for Deontay Gist. Trexler will kick this one away. A short kick fielded by Deontay Gist at the 12, to the 15, at the 20, near sideline 30, 35, 40, Gist to the 50. Gist has the kicker to beat Trexler. 20, out of bounds at about the 14-yard line, maybe the 16. Trexler losing the helmet. Deontay Gist with his second humongous return in this football game. It's time now for our Creekside Market post-game wrap-up for the Pioneers, again against the #1 ranked defense against the run. Finished with just -4 yards rushing. Catawba 136. Pioneers did throw for 303 yards to Catawba's 94. So 299 yards on 70 plays for the Pioneers, 230 yards on 75 plays for Catawba. Again, Andy Rossetti, a big day punting the ball. His best day by average as a Pioneer punter, 46.7-yard average. Time of possession, Catawba 32-38, the Pioneers 27-22. Third down conversions, a difference in this game. Catawba 11 of 18, Tusculum 4 of 15. In the red zone, Pioneers were 4 for 5, Catawba was 4 for 4. 7 sacks for the Catawba defense, 4 for the Pioneers, and field goals 2 for 5 for Tusculum, 1 for 1 for Catawba. We'll wrap it up when we return with more of the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda.
Applebee's 2 for $20 is back and fresher than ever.
Whoa. Hey, Chris. Hi, Jesse.
Hey.
Ready to order?
Yep, 2 for $20.
1 appetizer, 2 entrees, and layers of fresh flavor. So, who's paying this week?
Call it in the air.
Tails.
Pony up, Palmer.
So come on in for new favorites like new creamy chicken fettuccine carbonara, new bruschetta chicken, or classics like the 7-ounce house sirloin. That's 1 appetizer, 2 entrees, $20.
You got off easy, my friend.
It's the freshest 2 for $20 yet, only at Applebee's. Now serving half-price appetizers late night.
Creekside Market has 3 locations in southern Greene County to serve. So while you're traveling to or from any game, stop by and pick up a Hunt Brothers Pizza for those football Friday nights or Saturday afternoons. Creekside Market, just off the 107. Locations on the Asheville Highway, Camp Creek, and the Irwin Highway. Creekside Markets in Greene County. Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo proudly serves Tusculum College and supports Pioneer football. Sodexo, making every day a better day. Your Greenville Light and Power System, an electrical distributor of TVA, serving Greenville and Greene County since 1945. Your Greenville Light and Power is dedicated to excellence in service and reliability. Visit online at glps.net.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Stayton.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show, presented by Gateway Ford, Lincoln Mazda. Pioneers fall to Catawba, 23-21, but now turn their attention to Brevard. And Coach, this is a team that has just taken the preseason favorite Wingate into the fourth quarter. They had to score 21 unanswered in the fourth quarter to come back and defeat Brevard. Going to be a good challenge for your team this week.
And Brevard was leading the game 24-7, and the only touchdown that Wingate had scored was a 100-yard kickoff return. So played really well defensively against Wingate. And you know, Brevard is a team that has a bunch of fighters on it. They're going to compete and they're going to fight. And Paul Hamilton's done a great job getting his teams ready. And they're in every ball game, and we got to go to their place. They're going to be expected to win the game. Unfortunately, last time we went over there, they made a play at the end of the game to win. And we got to find a way to recoup and get ready to go back to work and find a way to get us a W.
Overtime win for the Brevard the last time they were there. Just some of the guys that would like to point out we didn't mention a lot. Brian Alexander, Justin Arrington both had 10 tackles in the game this past Saturday. Aaron Morgan had 9. These are some guys that have really come to play. Their job's probably a little bit tighter this week, a running effort for the Brevard Tornado.
They're going to line up and run the wishbone at us. We got to tackle the dive. That's where it's all got to get started. Actually, in the Wingate ball game, that's what Wingate didn't do. They didn't tackle the fullback and had a lot of success. And our linebackers and defensive linemen will be challenged once again from an inside standpoint. And our secondary guys have got to be ready to do their job, take the quarterback in the pitch. And from an offensive standpoint, we've got to eliminate our silly mistakes and finish drives and score points. And from a special team standpoint, we got to keep getting better. And when we have opportunities to score, we got to find a way to put points on the board. So we're not out of it by any stretch. I think our team will have a great week of practice, and we'll just be ready to go back and fight some more.
Coach, unfortunate this week. Let's get a W Saturday.
Thank you, Brian.
Pioneer coach Frankie DeBusk. The Pioneers fall to Catawba, take on Brevard this coming Saturday. You can join us on the Pioneer Sports Network from Brevard, North Carolina, AM 1450 WSMG, and online through TusculumPioneers.com. We'll have coverage beginning at 5 with kickoff at 6 o'clock, again on the Pioneer Sports Network. For everyone behind the scenes here for the Frankie DeBusk Show, Pioneer coach Frankie DeBusk, I'm Brian Stayton. Join us next week with Tusculum and Brevard. The Frankie DeBusk Show has been presented by Gateway Ford, Lincoln Mazda.
This has been the Frankie DeBusk Show with head coach Frankie DeBusk. The Gateway Ford Frankie DeBusk Show, featuring coaches' interviews, player spotlights, highlights, and statistical breakdowns.
Presented by Gateway Ford, Lincoln Mazda, the home of the big deal, located on the 11E bypass in Greenville. And brought to you in part by Applebee's, your neighborhood bar and grill. There's no place like the neighborhood. Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo, making every day a better day. Your Greenville Light and Power System, serving Greenville and Greene County since 1945. Andrew Johnson Bank, a strong heritage, a stronger future. Home-owned and operated with locations in Greenville, Morristown, Jonesboro, Johnson City, and Cleveland. Grand Rental Station, anything you'll ever need to rent or buy. Consumer Credit Union, with 3 convenient locations in Greenville and Mossheim. Creekside Markets, don't pass by, stop by, with 3 locations in Greene County. Laughlin Memorial Hospital, whatever you do, do it well. By Green Coach Tours, celebrating their 66th anniversary. Special consideration from Comcast Cable.
The Gateway Ford Frankie DeBusk Show is a special presentation of the Pioneer Sports Network.